right, guys, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce, and we're in our second hour. Second hour, yes, and our second segment. And we're talking about personal development. I'm going to be introducing my next guest shortly, but let me shout out to those of you who are watching again on SMS 22999. A lot of you have checked in with me. Someone here says, "Hey Joyce, Sho iko sawa. You always bless me." That's Edna watching from Thika. Thank you for that. Sho iko fire sana. That's Irene from Roy Sambu. Hey Joyce, Sho iko sawa. Ho nani bless sana na hizo discussion. Thank you. Someone commenting on our earlier topic today on Viewpoint and saying that the professors involved should have legal action taken against them so as to prevent more cases. Joseph, you're watching the show from Naivasha Karagita. Someone else commenting on that topic from Viewpoint saying sexual harassment is real and it starts verbally, but most victims don't take it seriously until it becomes a physical thing. Amos, you're watching us from Kapsabet. Blessing watching us from Kaga Boys. Mboya Sharon watching from Taveta. Stephen Mutua, Machakos. Dominic Bakari from Wingi. Ian from Naivasha. Someone else watching from Taita Taveta, you didn't leave me your name though. Someone commenting about our very interesting caller that we had today morning. Thank you for that. Stano from Gatundu Pia Asante. Someone was even telling me about traffic along the Kisumu Busia Road this morning. Thank you for that. Amos from East Lee. Kelvin, Kerugoya, wow, so many of you guys. I really do appreciate your company. Asanteni sana. Let's keep it together until 10 a.m. this morning. For now, let me introduce my next guest. Her name is Val Njoroge, and she's a co-founder and CEO of Africa Pocket. Karibu to the show.
Thank you so much.
Now, the holidays are upon us, and it's a critical time for a lot of people, especially December. We tend to overgift, overspend, overindulge, overeat, over everything, right? And these retail companies and bankers, must say, they are waiting for us. There's all sorts of sales and whatnot going off, and it's all these flashy banners, 50% off, 70% off. Na sisi tuko hapo tu na tushilingi zetu. But you know, our holiday spending then is really fueled by a lot of emotion and a lot of impulse. Like, we're not really thinking straight at this time. But you know, we need to kind of bridge that gap between our emotions and money, and trying to spend with a plan in place. And that is exactly what we want to talk about. Can you spend on a budget? Do you have a Christmas budget or a holiday season budget? So Val, welcome to the show once again.
Thank you very much.
And you know, at this point, people have already started thinking of the sort of gifts they want to buy. Wanafikiria nguo ya Christmas. You know, they want to think of all the luncheons they're going to have and attend and prepare for. How, in your calculation, you know, first of all, actually tell us about Africa Pocket. It's an interesting name you have there. What is that about?
So Africa's Pocket, we are a personal finance company. We teach people how to save their money, how to invest, and how to grow your wealth.
Okay.
So really the idea is that you come into our platform, you're able to do a course that teaches you really how to make your financial plans. So exactly
so yours
what
is
you're
an
talking
online
about.
course.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so it should help with a lot of these issues that many of us will be struggling with. So what then would be your biggest tips as far as holiday spending?
So the first thing with holidays, like you said, we don't plan, it's impulsive. So the minute somebody invites you for something, you're there, you're spending, you're not thinking, it's very emotional. It's a lot of euphoria around holiday spending. So the first thing is to actually make a plan.
Yeah.
What I usually try and do is say, I think in Kenya, 12th of December is like the key. That's when holiday season starts.
Yeah.
So I usually literally make a plan.
We're independent from work
exactly.
and colonialism on
and
the 12th.
responsibility.
And responsibility. Okay, Maze Kenyans, we can shut down from 12th December.
It's true. Like, try do a meeting after 12th
Yes.
and it's impossible.
Yeah.
So I usually say, first thing, make a plan for actually everything you're going to do between 12th and like 5th of January.
Okay.
So make a plan and then put
Okay.
a cost to those plans.
Right.
Then you'll see how much money it should cost you.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's too much.
But Val, the temptations are so many.
But-
Sasa ndio tunaona ati kuna hii deal ya SGR, kuna deal ya Mandege, twende sijui Mombasa Raha, twende tujaze nini. Right? Like, there's so much that's
There's so
happening.
much.
And
It's
it's
true.
weird because if you think about it, it's really a play on the mind and emotions.
Yeah.
Because technically, Christmas time is very expensive.
For
Because vendors
everything.
know that
Yeah.
you guys are desperate to have things. But then we also see all of these things about sales. Is it a trick?
I think yes. And a sale is not if you are not planning to buy the thing, you're not saving money because it's on sale. You see what I mean?
I've just that's the sound of my heartstrings breaking.
And I'm not saying don't have nice things, just
Actually, because
plan
it's on
for
sale,
them.
just repeat that statement. That's very profound.
Just because it's on sale, if you weren't planning to buy it, you haven't saved money. You've spent
Wow.
money less, but you still spent more than you expected to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
So,
okay.
a sale is not a reason to buy something.
Yes.
If you weren't planning to
Ooh-wee.
buy it.
Guy, I feel like I'm like chopping myself for all the times I see a good sale and I think I'm saving money, but you're
Yeah.
right. You didn't plan for it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. It's kind of like, at the Christmas buffet, and then you put all the different food and you can't finish it.
Yeah.
So, what was the point? Just because there was a buffet, it doesn't mean you have to eat everything, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. I remember an occurrence where there was a time I went somewhere and I saw this, I don't know what it was, maybe it was a pair of shoes, and they were really cute. And I didn't have any cash on me. So I was telling them, no, I can't buy it today. I don't have cash. They're like, we take debit cards. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that either. You can also use mobile money. It's like,
They're like, here are all
they
the ways
know,
to
like
spend
they
your
are
money.
trained to sell, which is their business, and that's what they should be doing.
Yeah.
But how does one sort of, because one can say don't carry cash around this time just so that you're not like easily spending it, but then there's so many other avenues now in Kenya for us to be able to spend money.
Yeah.
So for those who are really struggling to stick to the budget, labda hata budget walikuwa wameandika kutoka January last year. It was the vision, wako na vision board ya budget, ni vile tu haiguzwi, haiangaliwi. What are some of the other ways that someone can like really keep their expenses on lockdown, especially during this time?
So one of the hacks that I found when I started my career is that, so in December you're paid early. So most people are paid before the end of the month because it's closed, right? Which means you have a lot of cash very early in the month.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I started doing is asking my employer to actually hold half of my salary. And then the rest you pay early in January. That way you're not broke
That's smart.
in January. Yeah.
But hard.
It's hard, but at least you don't have the money to spend. And then you're not in January.
So they hold half of your December salary.
Yeah. And
so
then,
you're not turning it up with cash.
if you plan, you'll turn up. And then also in December, usually you get a bonus, right?
Yes.
So
okay, let's hope so.
we hope.
Uchumi imekuwa ngumu sana, but yeah.
We hope. So, it kind of helps you carry through.
Okay.
And then it forces you to be disciplined. Because the problem with December is that January is also school fees.
Yes.
You're buying uniform.
Yeah.
There's rent that's still due, but you
Yes.
had a 50-day month. It's a lot.
Membership.
Exactly. Everything lapses. So you want to have some cash.
I want to hear from you guys. How many of you guys would employ this thing, okay? That in December, how many of you would ask your employer, I'm hearing my camera people here, checking. How many of you would ask your employer to pay you only half of your salary and then the rest in January so that you don't, overspend during the holidays? Watu wanacheka.
But it works.
They're like, no, hakuna, haiwezi. I'd love to, ati wacha tuumie, ati inauma, lakini.
Wacha tuendelee tu.
Wacha tuendelee tu. But I'd love to hear from you guys. 22999 is the SMS line. But it's a good suggestion. But hey,
a lot
is
of people
discipline.
It takes a lot of discipline. It does. But, better to have a good January.
It's true.
Because really,
let's talk about January.
Yeah.
Or aka January. Right? Na ni mwezi tunajua inakuja. It's the first month of the year, so we know January is coming.
Yeah.
When people start crying out in January, like, is that just sort of exposing their indiscipline? Because surely you knew the new year was coming. Like, you've been celebrating it for the last, since December 12th.
Exactly.
But now, suddenly, January is a very, very hard and long month for a lot of people.
And it doesn't help that it's 31 days as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it does take discipline to not be broke in January. I understand December is like, there's a lot going on. There's also a lot of demands on your money because you're going to shags.
Yeah.
You have to take things. You can't go empty-handed.
Yes.
People are asking for handouts. You have to give. There's charity aspect. So it does take a lot of planning to not be broke in January. But I think something that people should do is every month of the year, put aside a little bit, kidogo too, for your January fund.
Okay, and you could do that for your December fund too. Like
for your
if you
December
want
as
to travel
well.
or something, right? So that you book things early
in
too.
advance, exactly, so that it's not a surprise. Because you're right, it's coming. So put something aside every month, and it's not as painful
Yeah.
as looking for the lump sum in December or in January.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, so research apparently has it that around 20% of purchases are expected to happen on mobile devices, predominantly driven by millennial shoppers. I don't want to name brands, but you know, watu wanakopa pesa sana kwa masimu. Alafu inafika point where you say, nipe cash, usitume kwa simu, itakuliwa na madeni. Talk to us about our phones. Very powerful instruments, but at the same time, it's sort of made finance such a fluid thing, right? And then there's all this digital credit that is happening, and you can end up having a very bad start to 2020 if you're indisciplined, even with the borrowing, because of that sort of alleged easy access to finance.
This is a personal pet peeve. So I did like a overhaul of my finances a few years ago, and I checked how much I was spending on mobile money fees, and it was enough to fund a small holiday on an annual basis. It was 2,500 a month. Over a year is 30K.
What?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is actually start looking at how much you spend, not just on the actual on the app or the mobile money, but on the transaction fees specifically, because it's a lot. There's a lot of saving that can be done there just by carrying cash. Because when you think about it, most of the time when you're using it, it's because you're splitting a bill with friends, so you send the money, but they're sitting right there next to you. Or you're taking a cab, so you send the money, again, the person is right there next to you.
Or get a debit card then.
Yeah, you know, little things like that can really save you a lot of money.
Okay.
But in terms of the apps, my personal suggestion is just don't use them to borrow money. It is so expensive. It is so expensive. It seems like a little when you're borrowing 1,000 bob to pay 1,050 in a few days. But if you keep doing this, you end up paying, the interest rates are very crazy. Yeah, so you really don't want to do it. I personally have blocked the ability to borrow money from any of the mobile
and talk
money
about that,
people.
because too, you know, there's wisdom that needs to be applied here, because you don't just, people don't borrow money for, okay, rich people, wealthy people don't just borrow money for anything.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're borrowing money to buy a pair of shoes, you're going to be in trouble because you've spent the money and you have no way of earning that money back to pay for the shoes. So you have to be very, very smart.
Yeah. My rule of thumb is don't borrow money if it's for consumption, meaning you're not getting an asset or something that can generate money for you.
Right.
And the thing that you're buying with this debt has to be able to cover the cost of the interest and the principal within a short amount of time.
The interest and the principal.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the key, because if you're borrowing to have drinks, to buy shoes, to, you know, go on a holiday, probably not a good use of your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, save your coins. Don't do it for your friends. Ni wewe utakaa tu hapo peke yako in January.
It's true.
But thank you so much, Val, for coming through and for shedding light on this. I think very, very important for us to keep in mind, because it's something that we don't think about, and that's part of the problem. So let's be very deliberate about our expenses this Christmas. Hey, I'm still stuck on that at least 30K per year.
It's a lot.
On transaction fees.
On transaction fees. It's a lot.
30K.
It's true.
Anyway, thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to get ready for my final discussion for the day. Now that we've taught you a bit about your holiday spending and, you know, keeping a budget and making sure that you're in line with your finances so that you're not starving and just eating bosho in January, we now want to talk about how you can actually have your etiquette on point over the holiday season. That's coming up next right here on Full Circle with Joyce. Stay tuned.